I'm the scat man. I'm the scat man.
Whoa!
Wow, let's go.
Who's
What a
this
day.
guy?
What a day. Yeah, I got to do radio with you. You didn't get to see this fresh thing. Yeah, that's nice.
Man. I've heard a lot of things about it. I heard it was a hit in Montreal. I heard you got a lot of hot dog sauce on that thing, but I've never seen it firsthand.
I could eat 72 Lafleur hot dogs from the Bell Center. Like the
So now
toasted
you get
bun.
it, right? Now you get it when I say Shen shows in Montreal. Like they're
Yeah, that was it. Like it was the
phenomenal.
perfect, it's the perfect intermission food. It's quick, it's easy, you can carry it, it's not messy.
And it's tasty.
Oh yeah, she was. Welcome to NHL Puck Props, presented by Sports Interaction with 14-year NHL vet Carlo Colaiacovo. Is today the biggest hockey game since 2014?
I would even go back 2010.
2010?
Right? I mean, that was the last time these two teams met on this stage when you're talking about winner take all, right? The other tournaments, they've met in group stages, but I just think that we've been deprived of best on best. We've been deprived of international hockey, countries playing against each other with NHL players at full strength. Now, don't get me wrong, there's still a couple of guys missing from different countries, but you know where I'm going with this. I just think that with the fallout from Saturday night, with everything that happened in that game, because the players showed the pride that they still want to play with, and the tone that was set in that game by the Americans, and obviously with them winning in Canada, and everything that's come out of that game to allow us to see this type of rematch now on American soil, and you add the turmoil that's going on and the beef that's going on in the world outside of hockey between these two countries, I can't think of a game that's been this big and that's been so highly anticipated to watch since 2010. I don't get this excited to watch a Stanley Cup final game because it's a best of 7.
Yeah, and like that run of how long the schedule is, like even Game 7 last year, right? Like that playoff went to what, June? Like that was late last year. Like it kind of drags on, where this is just like, and then I think it's another point where our expectation, the bar of our expectation was so low going into this tournament, where everyone's like, are they going to play? Like, do they care? Yeah, they do. They care. And they're certainly going to care tonight. Like it doesn't stop. Like the media is still going. Matthew Tkachuk still beacon. Hagel's quotes are incredible. Drew Doughty's quotes are incredible. Like,
and you know what I love about it is that I think in hockey, we've been deprived over the last couple of years of like the rough, tough, old school type of hockey. And Saturday night brought that all back, right? Especially with the Tkachuk brothers leading the way. You hear about a group chat that's going on. You look at Brady going absolutely psycho, watching his brother fight on the opening shift and then skating over the bench and calling out Sam Bennett to step onto the ice so they could go. And I just think that, the advice that I've given people over the last couple of days is that if you're a kid that loves hockey, that plays hockey, or even you're just a kid that loves sports, I think it's almost imperative that you watch this game tonight. You make sure you watch this game, because this could be a game tonight where we look back on, like we look at 2010 as a monumental moment in hockey history, because everything that's come out of that game on Saturday, the whole sports world is talking about it because of the imprint that they've left with the things that happened in that game, the way that they played, and obviously the result. I mean, that was Canada's first time losing to the U.S. since 2014?
Crosby's first loss. Crosby's first loss. That's crazy.
Right. Crosby's first loss in 26 straight games. So I'm so jacked for this game, and the players are, and you got players that are banged up that are saying this is the biggest games of their lives that they'll ever play in. So
crazy.
if you hear the players saying that, you got to think that everybody else watching it has to feel the same way. And it's
Yeah.
national pride. Like, who are we kidding? It's not your state pride or your team pride. This is national pride on the line right now. And I think John Cooper said it best. I think this game, the winner of this game, allows the winner of this game to walk with their chest out just a little bit bigger.
Nice. I enjoy big chest. I don't know where that's going with that. But no, as a fan of the game, whether which side of the border you're on, you absolutely have to put yourself in the best position tonight to create a memory of the game.
Yeah.
Where are you going to be? Who are you going to be there with, right? You're over at your buddy's house and the kids are farting around on the couch. And as a good dad, you grab them. You're like, Johnny, get over here. Watch this damn hockey game. You should watch this, right?
Yeah.
Like you need to.
Shower beers.
Did you see that? Jake Moore says Jingle's wife and his kids leave and he invites all his buddies over to the house for shower beers.
Shower beers.
So the house is empty. That the wife and the kids are gone. We've absolutely ripped the house apart because it's the only time I'm allowed to do anything when she's away and I don't have to answer 5,000 questions about what I'm going to do. I've ripped half my ceiling off. I'm redoing the ceiling. Like this place is a disaster zone. So
look at you, eh? Family leaves. You got a new look. You've got
I've been on the road. Yeah.
You've got a new job. You got a new outlook. Like everything's new about you. You look fresh, man.
Geez, thank you. Wait, and then I'll be like Homer Simpson when she comes back, and my stomach will get bigger, my one hair will fall out. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah. No, but no, I'll be out with the boys tonight. That's what we're gonna do. We've set that up, but make sure to make those memories, and that's where we are. And it's the talk, and it's not everything about betting right now, and that's the cool thing about it because I think betting's really taken over sometimes what we talk about with sports and the secondary things in terms of what they are. This is one that's transcending that conversation to Canada versus America, booing the anthem versus not booing the anthem. Like Boston's going to boo the anthem. I would assume that they're going to boo the anthem and it's going to be
Canadian anthem. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And it's deserved. That's fine. And do I care? No, I don't really care.
I don't care either. Like,
well, would you laugh? Like if they up the game and they're like, what if they didn't take off their hats? Right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If they sat and didn't take off their hats.
When they do the national anthems, it's showing a sign of respect, right? And do I support booing? Absolutely not. Like I don't think that's the right approach for this, but you can't really control how fans who go to these games react in those and want to act in those situations. It's disrespectful and you know what the anthems are meant for, but you know, whatever happens in that, I don't think it affects anything that the players do or the players play with. It's just going to amplify the adrenaline in that building even more. And so I don't support the booing of this stuff. How do you fix it? Well, maybe don't play the national anthem if that's the way you want to fix it. Because, you know, if you're going to always bring attention to it when it happens, then, you know, I don't really know how you make it right with trying to convince everybody that is in the building to do what you want them to do versus what they want to do in that moment.
We do have some picks, and producer Mick said Josh invited me to his room for shower beers in Montreal. I respectfully declined. That is a blatant lie.
Wait a minute, invited you to his room? I thought you guys were sharing rooms.
No, we didn't share rooms. I was on the top floor. He was down. Yeah, he was down in the second floor. I did show up at his room on Saturday at 9:30 with a Miller Lite and drank it in his room, but that's neither here nor there. We do have some picks. It's not just a hot topic political show. We do have some picks in this game. The MVP markets are really interesting in terms of, are they maybe a better angle to play? But as I was on your show this morning with Aaron, we're unaware of the voting process for this MVP. I haven't seen or read anything about it, so I'm not sure how many people it is, if they're writers, if they're going to be tugging on heartstrings in terms of who gets it more, McDavid or Crosby. I think the better values with Crosby at 500 versus our buddy McDavid at plus 260. He's been the better skater. But John Cooper made a good move, and I know there's been a lot of Mitch Marner hate because of where we are and what we do. Carlo, I've watched the games been in person in the games. Watching Mitch not play along the boards is very frustrating, and it's indicative of his game. Like it's like he doesn't support, and you saw it. Yeah, I saw it in the third period when he got demoted, and he had a quick 15-second shift, and then Canada had another offensive zone faceoff. So Coop wanted the other line out. So Mitch came off the ice, and there's Doughty patting him on the bum, giving him some talking to because of the situation that he's in now. How have you seen Mitchie's move so far in the tournament, and the move to get Braden Point with Connor McDavid looks like the right one?
Look, in a short tournament like this, it's all about adjustments, right? And it's all about what roles guys can play that are going to benefit the team. And whatever role they thought Mitch Marner could play in the beginning, well, was clearly not the role that he was finding success playing in. I mean, the challenge of playing in a tournament like this is getting used to players you're not used to playing with. And one of the biggest struggles that Canada has faced is a guy to keep up to playing with McDavid.
It's nuts.
Because he's just playing at another level. And so I give John Cooper a lot of credit. And this is the job of the coaches in a short tournament format like this, where you don't really have much time to figure stuff out. You've got to adapt on the fly. And that's what they did. They found Braden Point. That's been a guy that's been able to keep up to playing with McDavid speed. I mean, they even tried Reinhart with him too, and that doesn't seem to work. So they went with Stone and with Braden Point, because Braden Point's a guy that can keep up with him speed-wise and skill-wise. And Mark Stone's a guy that can go dig the puck out of the corners and make sure he gets it to McDavid and then get to the front of the net. So these are the things you tinker with. And when it comes to Mitch Marner, he's a guy over the short sample size that they played with. I mean, you can't give this a long leash, right, in this tournament. You've got to try to find different guys in different spots and find how quickly it can work. Look, I think it's pretty clear, Mitch, we haven't seen an A-plus game out of Mitch Marner. Maybe not an A game out of Mitch Marner, but he's had an A-plus moment.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy scored a monster goal for this team and for this country. Where would Canada be if he didn't score that goal? Right.
I think he's better driving the line too, right? As opposed to trailing.
But that's who Mitch Marner has always been. He's been a guy that drives play as a winger. Remember that big discussion? Well, center icemen are usually the guys that drive play. Well, his defense has always been, well, I'm a winger and I can drive play. And he's got, comfort and familiarity playing with a guy like Austin Matthews that's allowed him to have success. And let's not kid each other either. He doesn't play on the top power play unit. He doesn't play on the top PK unit. So it's been an adjustment for him to accept a different role. Now, do I think they found a better suited role for him? Yes, I actually do, because coaches rave about Mitch Marner because he's just a very smart player and he can play any situation you want him to play. Now, we look at Mitch Marner and we expect him to be a guy. We want him to be a guy that takes over a game. And with the Maple Leafs, there's times that he does. But at this level, he hasn't shown that he can do it. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, especially if you can find a role that's better suited for you playing with this many great players. And I think they found that with him playing with Cirelli and Hagel.
Yeah, and I'm not to crap on him, but I was so excited to see what he could do with McDavid, because I thought that talent would really shine and show what Marner can do with or without the puck. Sometimes it didn't happen. And like you said, it's maybe not the easiest thing to play on a line with Connor McDavid, despite his skill, just because you have to go to places that you're not usually going to, or how quick the pace is in terms of how you deal with the other line. So Interesting spot. I'm happy where it is. So let's go Braden Point for an assist. I don't get it. It's just a big number. Like anybody playing, and just get it to McDavid. This is not like McDavid set up, I'm going to go look for Leon Draisaitl. This is McDavid, I'm going to go win this for Canada moment, and he's going to be a factor in this game because he drives the play. So Point for an assist, plus 280. It's just a giant price, no? You're never going to get, we never got prices for who was playing on McDavid's line, like Connor Brown, some of those guys in terms of, it's not Braden Point, obviously, but plus 280, got to get it. And Jake Moore, who was talking about shower beers earlier, says, I called Hellebuck. He was paying 15-1 pre-tournament for MVP. Jingles was scared of goalies. Yeah, I was scared of goalies. And the only thing knocking Hellebuck here is that he didn't play the full array of games, and he's missed one game. They lost, but
And they basically have to win for him to win MVP in this game,
yeah.
right?
I just thought there was a lot of variance in terms of how things go. We didn't have the Cooper blueprint where he was like, I don't want a goalie rotation. You're just going to go. And I think that's why Binnington had a shot. But
So do you think game script or voting process determines whether the player has to be on the winning team or not?
So that's a really good question, right? So if Canada wins 2-1 in overtime and it's like a Sorelli goal and no big names get on there, like Hellebuck could still win. Like he's only allowed 2
Okay,
goals.
but so the reason why I asked you that is because if Canada loses and Crosby scores 2 goals, he would lead the tournament in scoring. He'd have 3 goals and whatever
Sure,
points
like it would have to be like a 4-3, 5-4 game, like a high scoring affair.
Right. And so if Crosby has a big night but they lose, are you just giving it to the American players because it's on the winning team, or are you giving it to Crosby because he clearly was an MVP in this tournament?
I think the NHL has realized you shouldn't give an MVP trophy
to
a losing guy because he might not come out and accept it.
Yeah, like McDavid did for the
that's the most annoying. I'm still angry at that. So we got point assists, and this is just a tough game because we saw on Saturday the US are one hell of a good coach team right now, especially when they played that lead. Like defensively, their puck retrieval and exit was unstoppable on Saturday. They had no time in, out, and Canada couldn't set up anything else. Canada's offense has literally been give it to McDavid, let him try to break down something and do it himself.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not going to work right now. So I think the U.S. has been structured very well. I think that's why Connor Hellebuck's doing what he's doing. So let's throw up Hellebuck for MVP at the +2. What do we got? At +250. I think this is the bet you make as a Canadian, if to be smart but not to cheer, because of the idea of like Hellebuck could still possibly win it if it's a close game.
Yeah.
I don't know. What have you seen structurally wise or just like coaching wise, especially on Saturday night? Is there a coaching edge for the US or no?
I don't think so. I mean, you've got great coaches on both benches. I think, what was a big factor on Saturday night, it wasn't even Hellebuck. It was the way the defense played for the Americans. And with no Charlie McAvoy, you wonder how much that could change for the Americans, because McAvoy, like, he set a tone with the physical play. Like, all those big hits that he had on McDavid.
He's so greasy.
And then Slavin, he was a beast back there. And it was a lot of perimeter play for Canada. They couldn't get through to the middle of the ice to even generate, high danger chances. So, does that help or hurt Hellebuck? Maybe, because he wasn't really tested against the Finns. He let a weak goal in against the Finns, didn't play against the Swedes, but he's a guy that's capable of winning a game on its own. Now, he doesn't have a great resume of being a big game goalie in big games. So you wonder, does that play a factor in today's game? I think the McAvoy injury is massive. It's a massive loss for the Americans. Can Sanderson coming in provide that same level of security for them? I don't think so, but and remember, Makar didn't play for Canada in that last matchup either. So I don't think there's a coaching advantage. If anything, I like Canada in this game just because historically they've always shown up in games like this, and they've had the US's number in games like this. But more importantly, I have this same reference when talking about the NFL. Like the Bills and the Chiefs is a great example. The Bills win the regular season, the Chiefs win in the playoffs. It is very hard to beat a very good team twice in any of the same format that you participate in. USA won the first one. I think the way Canada's playing right now, especially with the way those 3 guys up front are playing, McDavid, Crosby, McKinnon, seems like last game, their game raised to a different level. I think this is Canada's game to win.
Tim Powell saying, question, so you touched on the McAvoy issue. Brady, I believe he'll go. Like, what is he? What's his injury? Is it illness or no?
That's what they're saying. It's illness related. I mean, how much do you really believe that with the way him leaving the game, the last game? I don't think anybody's concerned he's going to miss the game.
Yeah.
And I guess we'll find out soon here in the morning skates.
But they brought Tage Thompson and
how about Tage Thompson? Like, he has a real shot of getting in because of the injuries that they've been dealing with up front. Imagine him. He went on a vacation, all relaxed, probably all tanned up, skated for a couple days, and now gets a call to play in this massive game.
It's like the opening to Major League. You know, when they call Jake the catcher and he's in Mexico and he's hung over on his bed. That's exactly what I'm picturing from Tage Thompson and getting a call to come represent Team America. And let's go MVP on the other side. It's got to be Crosby at this price. Yeah. Like, I know McDavid's been the better skater, but like, in terms of who you're betting on just for point race, like if it's a point race thing, if it's big goals thing, drop back pass, primary on the game winner. He stopped the bleeding versus Finland. That hit and that goal. Thank you very much. And like, wouldn't it just be, if it's the writers who are voting, like, wouldn't it just be like that classic sunset? Here you go. And then 2000 for the Olympics, then you change your C and now it's McDavid's captaincy.
No, as long as Crosby is around, it's going to be Crosby's C.
Think so?
Yeah. McDavid, I even if they want to change it, I don't think McDavid will allow it to happen, just because of the respect factor for Crosby and everything that he's done for the game of hockey and for the country of Canada. I think it should be noted, if this game goes into overtime, it's 5-on-5, not 3-on-3, and it's continuous until somebody scores.
20 minutes. Yeah.
So
imagine another OT thriller.
Well, and that's the thing. If it's an OT thriller, who's the first guy you're looking at?
How short are your benches too, right? Like 20 minutes, like you still got to roll regular benches, right?
Okay, but like, who scored the biggest goal in
Oh yeah, it's you're assuming that's going to be Crosby, and if I was making the live odds, it's going to be Crosby probably at the top.
Right.
Actually, I'd probably put McDavid at the top, and might be some value on Crosby, but I don't know. We'll see. There's past MVP for a lot of people. Someone said Nathan McKinnon needs 2 goals. Yeah, he probably needs to have 2 goals to get it, but he's playing on 5-on-5 and power play with Crosby, so Crosby's going to cut into that.
Yeah.
McDavid can do it himself. We've seen it. He can get in there. Zach Werenski has 5 assists and is tied for.
He's an incredible story. Yeah.
Yeah. It's the year he's having. He's as long as like 25-1 for MVP, which isn't like a bad dart throw if you're looking for a big long one there. Why do I do that to my, like, why do I, why? Catching myself. I'm like, oh my God.
What's McDavid MVP? He's got to be what?
260.
260, yeah.
Like, yeah, just around Hellebuck. Producer Mick's got a picture fired up here. Let's see. Bring that one in. Let's see what we got here. Look at that.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that handsome man. How old are you there?
So I am
frosted tip
20, age? 20. Yeah, I'm 20 there. And or that's January. No, so I'm 19 there. 19 there, because I would be 20 in January. So anyways, that goal there was semifinals against the Americans with just under 5 minutes left. Jeff Wojtwitka scored the 3-2 go-ahead goal, and I was on the ice. I was skating to him to celebrate that goal.
Have you always been a cut in the pants, hockey pants guy?
So that's not a cut. That's just the zipper, because in the inside, you've got zippers. So here's the thing with those: when you play in those tournaments, you're given equipment to wear, right? So those pants were tighter than what I was used to wearing
for them quads.
So, yeah. So I undid the zipper so that I felt like I could breathe a little more and not have that compression on my legs that, tight pants could provide.
That wraps up our tight pants conversation here on Puck Drop. That's funny.
Man, that mustache just turned you into a different guy, man.
It's yeah.
Different brain.
I feel different. As Eric Albert says, Josh is like Tobias from Arrested Development. I said Gob because I'm an idiot. Yes, I need to follow myself and with the recorder and record everything I say because there's a lot of double entendres. Oh, Tobias, you blowhard. Yeah. Banger in the mouth. Oh, there's so many. What a good show. But I mean, this is I bet a lot in this tournament. It's been a hard tournament to bet on. It really has, just because of line juggling. And I mean, Sweden packed up their things and they didn't lose a game in regulation, right?
I know, crazy.
It's just how the tournament went. But today will be certainly on that assist, and then some MVP love will be interesting to see. I don't know if I'll go. I think I'm going to go half unit on both those MVPs, just because of the uncertainty in the voting. Who's voting? That mustache reminds me of my uncle. Thank you. Producer Mick put it up. He didn't finish reading the end of it. Good one. But hey, it's been a hell of a tournament. It's exceeded all our expectations.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's given us one more memory to put in the memory bank.
Yeah, and it's given us the matchup that everybody's wanted to see right from the start, right? Canada, US, the two favorites coming in, the two star-studded lineups. We saw what episode 1 was like. Let's see what episode 2 is.
I'm so excited. Like it's a late game, right? I mean, what's 8:00 puck drop again, right? I would assume that's the norm.
Probably 8:30 before the puck actually drops.
Oh God, and all the hype videos before, but the hype video, it'll be the serotonin will be flying under 5.5 for the win. Jesse comes in. I want to touch on that too. The 5.5 is tough because it's juiced now to -130, and paying 30 points on that under is a little scary because late in this game, if it's 3-1 and it goes to 4-1, guess what? That goalie's getting pulled 4-1, and you could get backdoored in an uncharacteristic goalie pull, and I'd hate to see you get taxed 30 points. If you like it, just if you like unders, go and aside. Under team total, under 2.5 is -110 aside. Might be a better route. But let's get a point assist. That's really Werenski is +155 for an assist. That's wild. It is wild. But we'll see. Be very surprised if both teams scored more than 2. That's what we got. All right. That's a wrap. Four Nations. Sponsored by Sports Interaction, fueled by LaFleur steamy hot dogs, ketchup and mustard. Schwartz's Deli was good too. I ate a $40 slice of pizza that was after
a slice?
Yeah, one slice. Aldo Pizza. I had a $40 slice of pizza after I ate a Montreal smoked sandwich at Schwartz's. My body hates me after 36 hours.
Yeah, but that was good food you ate though, no?
Oh, it was great.
Tasty. Yeah.
Tasty indeed. All right, long day. Let's go. We got Carlos saying 14 years, biggest hockey game. I agree. I'm Josh Ingles. He's Carlo Colaiacovo. This is NHL Puck Props presented by Sports Interaction. Let's go Canada.
Go Canada, go. Have a great weekend. See you next week, folks.